the Bottom Line podcast presented by Anchor.fm, your home for sports and entertainment talk. I'm Jimmy Finizzi. I hope you're doing well. As always, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to take a listen. I really do appreciate it. Before we get started, you know the drill. Questions, opinions, Twitter and Instagram at BottomLineWMCX. Use hashtag BottomLine. Leave a voice message on the Anchor app or at Anchor.fm. And if you like what you see on YouTube, please leave a like and a comment down below. Helps out tremendously. And please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss a single episode. And please subscribe on all audio listening platforms. Just include Jimmy when searching for the Bottom Line podcast. Hockey is back. That's right. The NHL season kicks off today, January 13th, 2021. I am so pumped. We are getting hockey back. Now, the thing with hockey, with the NHL, is that they are not starting in a bubble. Now, my gut feeling is that this will last 2-3 weeks, give or take. If they're lucky, maybe a month. And then, once that 2-3 weeks or 1 month is up, then they will move to a bubble site once they pick one, if they've had discussions of that already. I'm not sure if they had discussions. Somebody can let me know if they did. But my prediction is that they are not going to be in a bubble until at least 2 to 3 weeks or a month. But hey, we'll see. Hopefully they actually won't be in a bubble this season. I pray to God that would be really amazing for them to accomplish this season. And the NHL did a really good job with the bubble last year for the playoffs. But we'll see what happens. So this episode, I'm going to give sort of a final season preview for a couple of teams in particular. Since we are in the New York, New Jersey metro area, I'm going to focus on the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils. So my team and Neil's team. And I'm actually going to start with the Devils first, since, you know, I like Neil. And he's not one of those Devils fans. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So let's recap the divisions first in the NHL. So far, we have, well, not so far, we have the North Division, which has Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and Winnipeg, so an all-Canadian division. Then we have the West with Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, Los Angeles, Minnesota, San Jose, St. Louis, and Vegas. Then we have the Central. We have Carolina, Chicago, Columbus, Dallas, Detroit, Florida, Nashville, and Tampa Bay. And by the way, the Dallas Stars are not starting their season on time due to COVID issues. So all the best to the Dallas Stars players, their fans, and the entire organization. Hopefully they can start up real soon. So all the best to Dallas on there. So that's the Central. Then we have the East. You've got Boston, Buffalo, New Jersey, the Islanders, the Rangers, Philly, Pittsburgh, and Washington. The East Division is absolutely loaded. There is no denying that. I mean, heck, some people are calling it the division from hell, but I'm not going to get into that whole argument there. But let's start with the New Jersey Devils preview first. So, the Devils' first 4 games, 2 at home against the Boston Bruins. Their season opener is Thursday, January 14th at 7 p.m. against Boston. Then they play them again on the 16th, again versus Boston. That's a 1 p.m. game at the Prudential Center. Then they go to Madison Square Garden to take on my New York Rangers, and on Tuesday the 19th at 7 p.m. And then they go to Nassau Coliseum to take on the Islanders on Thursday the 21st at 7 p.m. So already, right then and there, you got a couple of tough matchups. First of all, if you really look at the Devils roster, look, who do they got? They got Will Butcher. I think they just re-signed Nikita Gusev. Jack Hughes, who he said, quote unquote, he wants to have a breakout season. I mean, the guy gained 15 pounds during the offseason, did Jack Hughes? So he definitely looks like the guy looks, no pun intended, jacked. So we'll see what happens. But look, Jack Hughes, #1 overall pick last year. I expect nothing but great things from this kid. I love watching Jack Hughes play hockey. They still have Kyle Palmieri. They still have Travis Zajac. They still have, what's his face? They still have Mackenzie Blackwood. They have Wedgwood, who's probably going to be their backup goalie since they're probably going to give Blackwood more starts. Look, I know you had the whole situation with Corey Crawford retiring after he had just signed with the Devils. Look, my little 2 cents on that is this. Do I wish he would have said something sooner? Yes. But at the same time, look, there's been a lot of crap going on within his personal life and with his family. I can't get inside the guy's head. I don't know exactly what is going on with him, but look, I guess it was his time to retire. So I do respect this decision, and I wish Corey Crawford nothing but the best for him and for his family. I mean, the guy is retiring as a 2-time Stanley Cup champion with the Chicago Blackhawks after, 15 seasons in the NHL? So, yeah, it's been a long ride. It's been a great ride for Corey Crawford. And again, I do wish he would have said something sooner, but you know what? I still respect this decision. All the best to Corey Crawford. Oh, and you still have Boquist, and you still have PK Subban. Look, PK Subban's been okay for the Devils. I mean, he's still a really, really good player. I really like PK Subban, but he's been okay. To me, this is a make or break season for PK Subban. If he doesn't get his act together and starts producing more, then I think the Devils might cut bait with him. I'm sorry. I mean, I really hate to say that about a guy who I really like, but I'm sorry, PK. You got to get your act together. I know you're single now. You're not together with Lindsey Vonn anymore, but you know what? No excuses, man. Get your act together. But that's just a portion of the Devils roster. They're a young team, and they're working on some things. I get it. A new GM and Tom Fitzgerald. I mean, look, things are slowly starting to look up for the Devils. Not quite there just yet. They're still a very, very young team with a little bit of inexperience. But look, I think the Devils are going to be just fine. Do I think they're a playoff team? Not quite yet, but I'll get more into that in a little bit. They're going up against a Bruins team that still has Charlie Coyle. Yeah, Charlie Coyle, excuse me on that. Who else do they have here? You still have Lindholm. You still have Krejci. You still have Bergeron. You still have Marchand. You still have Charlie McAvoy. You have Pastrnak, who's probably one of the best players in the game right now. And your goalies, you still have Yaroslav Halak. Tuukka Rask. Look, we don't know what the situation is with Tuukka Rask. Look, I personally believe what Tuukka Rask said. I mean, those who want to criticize the guy, I mean, hey, that's on you. I personally would say go kick rocks because you don't know what goes on outside of a hockey player's life. They have lives, you know. They are humans. See, that's the one thing people need to remember. Hockey players, along with any other athletes, they're humans. They have lives. They have families. Stuff happens. Tuukka Rask apparently had a situation where something happened with his daughter. And look, hey, I do not blame him for leaving the Bruins in the postseason. I really, really don't. At first, we didn't know why he left. But once he gave the explanation, then I said, you know what? I get it. Because I would do the same thing if I had a family issue. But look, those who want to criticize Tuukka Rask, hey, joke's on you. I guess go kick rocks. But I digress there. But look, the Bruins, big loss with not having Zdeno Chara there anymore, which was the shocker of the offseason as Zdeno Chara signed a 1-year contract with the Washington Capitals, which I don't think anybody saw coming. All right, so they lost a great leader. They lost a guy who's been there for, 14 seasons? I mean, the man's 43 years old, and he still is going as strong as ever. So I got to give a lot of props to Zdeno Chara, and hopefully he can keep this up for a while. That guy's going to waltz into the Hall of Fame when his career is over. But losing Zdeno Chara is going to be a massive blow from a leadership standpoint, in my opinion. But you know what? I still think the Bruins are going to be a great team this year. They're definitely a playoff team, in my opinion. But anyway, look, the Devils, do I think they're a playoff team? Well, again, if you really look at the loaded East Division, I really don't think so. I'm sorry. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Ranger fan. I'm being dead serious as a hockey fan in general. I do not see the New Jersey Devils making the playoffs this year. Look, they're a young team and they're going to get better. I understand that. But with the likes of Boston, with the likes of the Islanders, Washington, Pittsburgh. I don't see it for the Devils. I'm sorry. I'm predicting the Devils are going to finish. Look, some people are predicting the Devils to finish dead last in the East Division. I'm not going to go that far. There's no way the Devils are going to be a last place team. I think they're going to finish in 6th place at best. They are not a last place team by any stretch of the imagination. The Devils will finish 6th in the East. So, with that being said, let's go to my New York Rangers. Where do I begin with my team here? Well, first of all, their first 4 games are as follows. Their first 3 games are at Madison Square Garden, all right? So you have Thursday, January 14th at home against the Islanders at 7 p.m. Then you have the Islanders again at MSG on Saturday, January 16th at 7 p.m. Then you have the Devils coming into town on Tuesday, January 19th at 7 p.m. And then on Friday, January 22nd, they go to Pittsburgh to take on the Penguins. And look, do I expect anything from the Rangers? Well, actually, I'll get to that in a little bit. But let's look at the Rangers roster so far. Jacob Trouba, Artemi Panarin, Julian Guenther, Alexis Lafreniere, who they got with the number 1 overall pick, who I think is going to be an absolute star in this league. Do not get me wrong on that. I love this kid. Ryan Strome, Chris Kreider, Brett Howden, Adam Fox, Capo Caco, Libor Hayek, Phil DiGiuseppe, Brendan Smith, Tony D'Angelo, who I think needs to stay off social media, but I digress there. I still like the guy, but he needs to stay off social media. Brendan Lemieux, Pavel Buchnevich, Mika Zibanejad, who's one of their best players and should be named captain. And their goaltenders, Igor Shesterkin and Alexander Georgiev. And oh, by the way, they picked up some guy named Keith Kincaid, who used to play for the Devils. I don't understand why that is, but look, he's their 3rd-string goalie. I digress. Igor Shesterkin is going to be their number 1 starter this year. Georgiev's going to be a backup. Keith Kincaid is going to be their 3rd stringer. So calm down with Keith Kincaid being on the roster, please. But listen, I look at this Rangers roster. On paper, well, actually, with the Devils on paper, the Devils have a very talented roster. On paper for the Rangers, this should be a fantastic roster. I mean, this roster on paper is so talented, it's not even funny. But look at the Islanders roster for a minute here. Nick Leddy, they just re-signed Andy Green to a 1-year deal. Jordan Eberle, Zorniak, Matt Barzal, Cal Clutterbuck, Andrew Ladd, Matt Martin, Anthony Beauvillier. Who else do we have here? Anders Lee, Johnston, J.G. Pageau, Holmstrom, goalies in Varlamov, and Sorokin. And by the way, from what I'm hearing about Sorokin, that kid is the real deal. So Islander fans, get excited for Sorokin because he is going to be an absolute stud in the NHL, hopefully for many, many years to come. But back to the Rangers. I know I've had my spiel about the Rangers, and listen, the big blow for them is that they don't have Henrik Lundqvist anymore. They let him go in free agency. He signs a 1-year deal with the Washington Capitals, and then all of a sudden, he's got a heart condition. He can't play this season. And by the way, just to update you in case you haven't heard, Henrik Lundqvist did have his open heart surgery. He said it went very, very well, and he is currently recovering as we speak. So that is fantastic news to hear. I wish Henrik Lundqvist nothing but the best. It still really, really hurts that we're not going to see him in a Ranger uniform or in the NHL at all this season. But you know what? Health comes first. You come first. So Henrik Lundqvist, all the best to you. I am glad you are recovering very, very nicely. And I really, really hope we'll see him next year. But if this is it for him, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. I mean, part of me thinks that this is it for him. He's going to retire after this year. But look, I really hope to see him play again. But if not, I'll completely understand. As much as it will break my heart, but I digress there. But all the best to Hank. But back to the Rangers here. What do I expect? Well, they're a young team too. But in my personal opinion, the New York Rangers are not a playoff team just yet. However, I do think they're going to be a competitive team. They're not going to be like, oh, one of those teams like off the scrap heap that's going to just suck the entire year. No, I don't think this team is a playoff team. But with the young talent that they have, they're going to be a competitive team. I think the Rangers will finish 5th in the division. Now, I believe the way it works this year is that the top 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. I think the Rangers just miss out, but not by all that much. Look, you can call me whatever you want. You can attack me all you want. You can say I'm crazy, and I know I am, but the bottom line is I'm a Ranger fan. I'm a hockey fan. I'm a realist. I call it like it is. The Rangers had no business being in the qualifying round of the Stanley Cup playoffs last year, and it showed. Carolina was the far superior team. It showed. They had no business in the playoffs last year. They have no business being in the playoffs this year. And even if they do make it, they somehow squeak in that 4th spot. I mean, what are they really going to do? Get bounced in the first round again? So, look, bottom line is Rangers, I see them finishing 5th, just missing out on the playoffs, but they're going to be competitive. I see the same thing with the Devils, too. I mean, I think the Devils are going to be somewhat competitive. I really do. The Devils are also a young team that's also going to try. But Rangers, I see finishing 5th in the East. The Devils, I see finishing 6th in the East. And on that note, that'll wrap it up for this episode of the Bottom Line Podcast. If you have any thoughts on anything we discussed, let us know on Twitter or Instagram at BottomLineWMCX. Use hashtag BottomLine. Leave a voice message on the Anchor app or at Anchor.fm. And as always, if you like what you see on YouTube, please leave a like and a comment down below. And please make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you do not miss a single episode. And please subscribe on all audio listening platforms. Just include Jimmy when searching for the Bottom Line Podcast. Coming up in the next episode, Neil and I will preview the NFL divisional round, and we will make our picks as to who will move on to the championship round. Not the Super Bowl, but the championship round. So stay tuned for that. That is going to be fun. I'm Jimmy Finizzi. This is the Bottom Line Podcast. See you in the next episode. Peace out.